All right, everyone. Hello. My name is Robert Blaze. I'm a reporter here at Blank Slate Media. Thank you all for coming this evening. And without further ado, I will turn it over to my boss, Steve Blank. Steve.
Thank you, Rob. Hi, my name is Stephen Blank. I'm the editor and publisher of Blank Slate Media. And I would like to welcome everyone to the Top Business Leaders of Nassau County 2020. This is the first in what we intend to be an annual ceremony celebrating excellence in the business community. And our choice of 2020 to kick off the event is no coincidence. Succeeding in business is never easy, but there has never been a more challenging year than 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic forced every organization, every business to change how it operates, often in very dramatic ways. Safety protocols were incorporated into our daily routines. Working remotely became the norm. Addressing the health concerns of staff became a requirement. And then there were all those Zoom meetings. This is what makes the achievements of our honorees so much more important to recognize. They have demonstrated one of the most important skills of a successful business leader, the ability to overcome adversity. For that and many of your past achievements, I offer you my congratulations. Before we start our program, I'd like to thank this evening's sponsors. Your support has made this evening possible. They include PSC&G Long Island, Palumbo Wealth Management, the Nassau County IDA, Northwell Health, Keats Insurance Agencies, Engel Berman, Cameron Engineering, ZE Creative Communications, the Whitmore Agency, Asset Enhancement Solutions, Hofstra University, Sandwire Group, and Rxr. And I'd also like to thank my staff, without whom this evening would not be possible. Now I'd like to kick off the evening with some words from Nassau County's executive, Laura Curran.
Hi, everyone. It's Nassau County Executive Laura Curran. I want to join Blank Slate Media, and thank you for inviting me, in celebrating these amazing business leaders. We know that we have a health crisis that we're managing through. We also know on a similar track, right next to it, we have an economic crisis. So each and every one of the honorees is being celebrated, and rightly so, for doing their part in making sure that both tracks that we're going strongly. We're recovering from the health crisis, and we're recovering from the economic crisis as quickly as possible. And I know that the visionaries, the business leaders who are being celebrated today, they're going to be a key part of what we're calling the pandemic pivot, reimagining what the world looks like post-COVID, building for that world post-COVID, making sure that we're keeping people safe, keeping people working, keeping kids in school, and getting back to normal. Actually, you know what? It's more than getting back to normal. It's making a new normal that's a better normal. Let's not waste this opportunity. I know with everyone who's being honored today, we're going to get there. Thank you.
We thank the county executive for her recognition, and now let's get started with our program. And we'll start with Jan Berman. Jan is the president of the Engel Berman Group and one of several honorees who have shaped how we live and work. Throughout his career, Jan has shown a keen eye for reusing underutilized properties and insight into spotting hidden opportunities. Jan has developed or redeveloped more than 10 million square feet of industrial and office properties, built Long Island's largest modular Golden Age community, co-founded, developed, and operates the Bristol Assisted Living Communities, purchased the 500-acre Grumman U.S. Navy aircraft manufacturing plant, and developed Wellbridge, the first of its kind research and treatment center for addiction. Jan has also been active in promoting development as the founder and past president of the Association for a Better Long Island, and has served on several boards, including the United Nations Development Corp and the St. Francis Hospital Foundation Board of Directors. Jan drew inspiration in responding to COVID-19 from his late parents for their strength, their integrity, and their boundless optimism for our country. and he hopes he brought that to his company and his family. Jan, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I'd like to accept this wonderful honor on my behalf, along with my Anglo-Berman partners, Stephen Krieger, Scott and David Berman, John Weiss, and the thousands of dedicated Anglo-Berman employees who work so hard every day so that I can receive an award like this. You know, over the years, we've broadened our scope and seen explosive growth and a significant portfolio diversity, developing new and creative, innovative projects in the tri-state area. We find a property, we design it, we entitle it, we build it, and then once we complete it, we manage it. As you mentioned, we've created the Bristol, which is a national standard of excellence in assisted living, as well as many housing communities. I'll make this quick. We are going to be expanding into South Florida, and that'll be a next exciting chapter for our company. So hopefully in the next 2 years, we'll be able to come back and tell you about some of our success down there as well. Thank you very much. I'm humbled by your recognition and want to congratulate all my co-honorees this evening. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much. Our next honoree is Neil Seiden. Neil is the founder and president of Asset Enhancement Solutions, a financial advisory firm that provides both investment banking and consulting services to companies considering important transactions. When the effects of the pandemic brought small businesses to a standstill, and the CARES Act caused chaos and panic for those trying to secure much needed funding, Neil quickly responded. He staffed up in just a few weeks with more than 20 accountants and other financial professionals and began making hundreds of small businesses, assisting hundreds of small businesses. His company also presented over 100 free webinars teaching small business owners how to apply for a PP loan. The team worked for 7 days a week and long into the evening each day in helping more than 800 companies receive much needed loans. He and his group saved an estimated 10,000 jobs. Neil, congratulations.
Neil, you may have to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. Stephen, thank you very much. It is truly an honor to be recognized this evening by Blank Slate Media, along with such an incredible group of co-honorees. For those of you that do not know Asset Enhancement Solutions, our core business is arranging debt and equity financing for companies with challenges. Favorable challenges such as opportunities for growth and business acquisitions, as well as a long list of unfavorable challenges. We arrange the appropriate financing so that these businesses can survive and thrive. Even in normal times, businesses have plenty of their own challenges to manage on a daily basis. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has caused the most daunting financial challenges for businesses and nonprofits in our lifetime. At Asset Enhancement Solutions, we never shy away from adversity, we embrace it, and we thrive on it. As everyone might remember, the initial rollout of the PPP program in April 2020 was quite chaotic, and many small businesses on Long Island did not know what to do or where to go for assistance. Seeing this confusion and having been in the financing business for 18 years, we felt obligated to get involved and help as many businesses as we could. We put together a fantastic team and came to the aid of the business community, both locally and nationally. As Stephen mentioned, we assisted 800 businesses and nonprofits in 34 states with PPP loans totaling over $100 million, which helped secure approximately 10,000 jobs. This effort has been one of the most challenging and satisfying experiences in my life, and our team is now again assisting businesses and nonprofits for the second round of PPP loans. Thank you again for this wonderful recognition of our hard work, and congratulations to my co-honorees. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Neil. Our next honoree is Michael Rosenblut. He is the president and CEO of Parker Jewish Institute for Healthcare and Rehabilitation, one of the region's largest skilled nursing facilities for older adults. He is also the founding chairman of the board of managers for AgeWell New York, a licensed managed long-term care plan and Medicare Advantage plan in New York State. Under Michael, Parker has developed a continuum of care that includes social model daycare, certified home health agency care, and hospice programs. When COVID arrived, Michael launched Parker's emergency COVID response campaign at a time when nursing facilities were ground zero to the pandemic and information and health mandates were changing rapidly. Michael made sure to keep Parker's leadership team in constant communication, helping Parker drive new policies ahead of the CDC and State Department of Health protocols. This allowed Parker to relay urgent messages to families, workers, donors, vendors, partners, and the public, all in real time. Michael has also been a driving force in making the COVID-19 vaccine available under federal and state protocols to Parker's residents, patients, and staff. And in fighting the virus under his direction, Parker installed some of the most advanced safety measures available. Michael, congratulations for your award.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my fellow honorees, and I want to thank Blank State Media for this wonderful recognition this evening. The COVID-19 pandemic absolutely challenged our organization in new and unimaginable ways, but again, all of our healthcare heroes at Parker rose to the challenge. And again, our goal is to provide our quality care each and every day. Simply said, not easily accomplished. Again, the new brave world we're living in today, the challenges we faced, all of our team members have to comfort the residents, stay strong each and every day. I just want to thank everybody again. Congratulations to my fellow honorees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Our next honoree is Richard Kessel. Richard has promoted economic development and the creation of jobs in various positions under 6 New York governors, including as executive director of the State Consumer Protection Board and chairman and CEO of both the Long Island Power Authority and the New York Power Authority. Richard is currently chairman of the Nassau County Industrial Development Agency and the Nassau County Local Economic Development Corporation, both of which seek to promote the county economy. At the outset of COVID-19 pandemic, he helped champion state legislation to temporarily allow IDAs throughout the state to provide grants and loans to coronavirus-affected small businesses and nonprofits. The Boost Nassau program he helped develop has loaned more than $1 million to small businesses thus far. In collaboration with Nassau County's Department of Economic Development and the Office of Community Development, the Boost Nassau program partnered with the town of Hempstead to create a PPE program that distributed 5,000 kits to small business owners, nonprofits, and the town of North Hempstead school districts. During this time, the county IDA continued in its role of promoting development in the county. This included assisting the Long Beach Superblock, a project located on a property that has sat undeveloped for 40 years. It is now primed to become an economic hub with 300 plus construction phase jobs and more than 400 units of much needed housing. A $360 million investment, the Superblock project will result in an increase in tax payment to the county of more than $13 million and $75 million to the Long Beach School District over the course of its 25-year agreement. Richard also guided the IDA in the adoption of a policy that would promote the creation of additional affordable housing options in development projects throughout the county. It's my honor to introduce Richard to discuss the county IDA and his work a little bit more.
Thank you, Steve. It's good to see you tonight, and good to be with all of the honorees, many of whom I've known for a long period of time. And you hear me, right?
Oh, yes.
Good. I want to congratulate my fellow honorees. I also want to thank you, Steve, for your leadership. You've taught me a lot about the importance of downtowns and helping small businesses, and that really is a critical indicator of what we need to do. I do also want to thank Laura Curran. Obviously, Laura appointed me and my fellow board members, and she has really shown great leadership in working with me and the IDA and our board to help businesses during this crisis. And I also want to say that we have a great board and staff at the IDA. I couldn't do this myself. I have 6 other board members appointed by the county executive, confirmed by the county legislature, and we work together on a bipartisan basis to help small businesses. And I think it's important to know quickly that the IDA, usually is in the business of helping large companies locate here, expand here. And, I was listening to my good friend Jan Berman before, and, that's a great example where we worked with Jan, Steve Krieger, and Engel Berman to develop the Superblock, which is a huge economic shot in the arm to the city of Long Beach. We worked with the city council, we worked with Engel Berman, and as a result, we're going to have over 400 condos and apartments down there, and some of them are going to be affordable. And that's critically important. Not only do we have hundreds of construction jobs when that project begins, hopefully later this year, but new people will be moving in, shopping and working in Long Beach. And that's a critical thing to help boost up the economy. So we are working on some of these larger projects, but let me just spend 1 minute talking about small businesses, because IDAs by law are not usually allowed to help small businesses. But thanks to the leadership of Laura Curran and Todd Kaminsky, state senator, several members of the assembly like Judy Griffin, a legislation was passed that allows us temporarily to help small businesses during COVID and the executive order that the governor issued. So as a result of that, we have engaged in a number of programs to help small businesses. And one of the most important things that we did was to provide PPE kits to over 4,000 small businesses throughout the county of Nassau. We worked with Nassau County, with the county executive and her team. We worked with Don Clavin and the town of Hempstead together, and we gave out these PPE kits, masks, gloves, sanitizer, thermometers, all of the things that small businesses needed to reopen, to reestablish themselves, to expand, and to be successful. At the time we did that, PPE was not easy to access and very expensive. And so we were able to use funds that we raised between the town of Hempstead, the county of Nassau, the IDA, to help those small businesses. And I think that is an example of what we need to do. And as we go into the next phase of COVID, we're looking for ideas. One of the things that we now can do is give grants and loans to small businesses. And while we do have a loan program that we partnered with Nassau County on, we are going to look to give some grants to small businesses and downtowns. The truth is that people are nervous about things, going into a restaurant or going into a small business. So by providing them with the tools needed, people will be confident that they can utilize their own resources to attract customers and to expand their businesses. We're here for the people and the business community, and I'm very proud to be part of that. And I want to thank Blank Slate and all of the other partners that we have. There are a number of people tonight I see, like my good friend Tom Swazi, Congressman, Mike Dowling, who I actually used to work with when we both worked for former Governor Mario Cuomo many, many years ago. And these are people who are all making great efforts to get things done. So thank you for this honor, but the honor really belongs to the IDA board, the county executive, the county legislature, and everyone that we work with to make things better.
Thank you very much. Your comments and your work is very much appreciated. Our next honoree is Ed Blumenfeld. Ed is the president and founder and creative force behind Blumenfeld Development Group, which he created in 1978. The Blumenfeld Development Group is an industry leader and a Nassau County mainstay that has helped build a better Long Island through the firm's work in converting underutilized real estate into vibrant, innovative, progressive space. Blumenfeld Development Group now employs over 50 people in 3 New York offices and controls approximately 4 million square feet of real estate. Its development portfolio features regionally significant projects, entertainment-based retail, multi-tenant offices, medical offices, industrial, and multifamily residential. When the pandemic struck, Blumenfeld reacted quickly, reinventing their business model. As a result, BDG was able to complete major projects, including the development of the Smile, a beautiful technologically advanced residential building in Harlem designed by a renowned architect. BDG's commitment to the community is reflected in Ed's role as a founding member of the Association for a Better Long Island and his election 3 times as president. He also serves as a member of its Energy and Environmental Committee. He has supported issues relating to education, the environment, child health care, responsible government, and sustainable development through his advocacy and philanthropy. As a founding member of Cone's Children's Hospital, Ed has worked for more than 3 decades to sponsor a unique brand of care based on the special needs of young patients, care that has won international recognition. Ed has spearheaded the expansion of the hospital campus to include the Blumenfeld Family Pavilion, which is Long Island's only pediatric dedicated emergency department and home of its level 1 pediatric trauma. Ed, we congratulate you for all your work.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to all my fellow honorees. I want to thank, this honor is bestowed upon not me, but just my family and my partners. That include my wife, Susan, my sons, David and Brad, and John Cohn and David Kaplan, along with the other people that have been with me, some of which have been there 35 years. I think we have an average employment record of about 20 from most, if we average everybody out. And I want to thank one of the major honorees here, Michael Dowling, for doing an outstanding job with Northwell Health. It was a leader in getting this pandemic under control. I had a whole little speech to give, but I want to go offline here and just do it ad lib. We protected every one of our employees through this pandemic, even though we were shut down. We found new ways to operate, to complete a major construction job in the city as an essential occupant, because part of the construction of that job was for the Mount Sinai Nursing School, as well as some other medical facilities. So it was an essential construction job, and the governor saw fit to give us that permit to work during the time. We have not laid off anyone. We have kept everybody employed. We have given money to the frontline workers at Cone's Children's Hospital and fed them during the height of the pandemic. We donated as a company with our employees to Island Harvest to feed the needy on Long Island. And I believe that we have to give back. No matter where we locate a project, we are giving back to that community, and we have to sustain Long Island, the region. It is so important that we find a way to make Long Island, along with Richie Kessel and the people in Suffolk, economically viable, because we are being rated by the southern states to get our people to leave here business-wise and residentially. We do not need an exodus from Long Island. Thank you again, Steve, for your leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your work. Our next honoree is Stuart Rabinowitz. Stuart is the president of Hofstra University, and under his leadership during the past 2 decades, Hofstra has become an institution of international reach and reputation, hosting 3 consecutive presidential debates and launching several new schools, including the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell, the Hofstra Northwell School of Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies, the Fred DeMays School of Engineering and Applied Science, the Peter Calico School of Government Public Policy and the Internet and International Affairs, and the School of Health Professionals and Human Services. At the start of 2020, Stuart announced his retirement as of August 2021, after 20 years as president and 5 decades serving the university, first as a member of the Maurice A. Dean School of Law faculty, and then as its dean. In his final year, Stuart successfully steered Hofstra through the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, working with Northwell, Hofstra's partner in the medical and nursing school. The university has developed one of the most comprehensive COVID-19 testing and tracing programs among colleges in New York State, and instituted health and safety protocols that protect the campus community while continuing to provide students with a rewarding experience inside and outside the classroom. For that, we want to thank Stuart for his work and congratulate him.
Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. Can you hear me and see me?
We can do both.
Okay, great. First, I'd like to say that I wish I was where Jan Berman is, as opposed to where I am up in snowy New York. And secondly, I wish I had gotten the memo saying that ties were not necessary. It took me 40 minutes to tie my tie because I had forgotten how to do so. But let me get serious and say how appreciative I am for this honor by Blank Slate, and how privileged and humbled I am to be honored with some of the most important, if you will, movers and shakers on Long Island, many of whom are my friends, some of whom are alumni, and a number of whom are our donors. And as you summarized and pointed out, in these 20 years, Hofstra has become an entirely different institution than it used to be. And it has made tremendous progress in every respect. A lot of it due to our partnership with Northwell, and a lot of it due to the generosity of our alumni. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a city to move a university, given the structures of joint governance and so on. And we have been able to do that. And I say that without any feeling of immodesty, because it's not my doing. It's not all my doing. It required the cooperation and skill and expertise of our terrific administration, our fabulous faculty, our great administration staff, down to every employee of the university, our students who are fabulous, and our alumni and our donors. And by the way, a number of your honorees are or have been our donors. And if they haven't, they need to have a side conversation with me whenever convenient. And so I just want to say how appreciative we are, and that Hofstra intends, after my tenure, it's not a one-person show, to continue developing to be one of the best universities in the country, and to benefit the entire Long Island, Nassau, and Suffolk region in any way that we are called upon to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contributions. Our next honoree is Dr. Jeff Reynolds. Jeff is president and CEO of FCA, one of Long Island's largest health and human resource organizations with 340 staff members, 200 volunteers, and 30 plus programs. COVID required the agency to modify essential healthcare programs to provide critical programs to seniors virtually. Most recently, FCA launched addiction recovery centers in Westbury and Hauppauge that play a critical role in helping former users stay clean. A Catholic Health Partnership provides peer and family recovery coaches trained to work with overdose survivors and families in the community and in emergency departments, as well as other at-risk populations. Jeff serves on a number of boards and committees, including the Suffolk County Heroin Opiate Epidemic Advisory Panel, the Executive Committee, the Nassau County Heroin Prevention Task Force, Suffolk County's Welfare to Work Commission, and he is vice chair of the State AIDS Advisory Council. Governor Cuomo also appointed him to the New York's Heroin and Opioids Task Force and to a task force charged with crafting New York's adult use regulated marijuana program. For that, we'd like to offer our congratulations to Jeff for a job well done.
Great. Thank you, Steve. And, thank you to both you and all the staff at Blank Slate Media. This is truly an honor. I also want to congratulate all of the wonderful co-honorees that you selected for this evening. And most importantly, I'm going to accept this on behalf of really our 340 staff, a really dedicated board of trustees, and then 250 other volunteers that really do the work on the ground. I also want to acknowledge the 30,000 Long Islanders each year who are brave enough to ask for help and who come through FCA's doors looking for addiction treatment services, counseling services for their kids, housing support, or any number of other things. As you noted, COVID has posed some really significant challenges for everybody in our community, but we've begun to see very clearly how COVID has really redoubled the fault lines that we knew existed long before the epidemic ever hit. And we know that the chronic poverty, the chronic unemployment, the mental health issues in our community are growing almost as we go day by day. But I know, and it's our philosophy at FCA, that we're going to come out of this being healthier, stronger, and safer than we ever were before, because that's what we do as a community. So thank you for this honor. Congratulations again to my co-honorees and to everybody. Thanks for making Long Island a better place for all of us.
Thank you, Jeff. Our next honoree is Salvatore Ferro, who is president and CEO of Allure Home Improvements. Sal started his career with the company in 1989 as a production manager and worked his way up. After serving in production, sales, and in general management, Sal took on the roles of president and CEO in 2002. Under Sal's leadership, Allure grew from a painting contractor to one of the most successful remodeling companies in the country. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Allure had to reevaluate how to do business. The company focused on how best to stay on its client's agenda and make the most of limited opportunities while keeping everyone safe. This includes adding design while distancing, where the company provided touchless measuring and virtual sales appointments. Sal also redeployed Allure's resources to maximize efficiency and cost while embracing technology at a whole new level. Sal, congratulations for a job well done.
Thank you. This is an incredible honor to be recognized with such an esteemed group of Long Islanders. I truly want to thank you, Stephen, and your complete team at Blank Slate Media. You guys do an outstanding job, and it's wonderful to see Long Islanders getting recognized during such trying times. I also want to thank my family, my wife, and my family at home, and Allure. Allure is a group where, it's a very special place, and I'm very proud of this team. It's been a very difficult, challenging year for all of us in business, and I'm more proud of my team than I've ever been before. The way they adapted and adjusted during such difficult times, creating all different things. I've used their vision and their dedication to help execute in ways that we'd more than just survive through these difficult times. Many years ago, a long time ago, I said, being one of the most successful remodeling companies in the country was never going to be enough. I wanted us to be prominent in the community, prominent on Long Island, where people could be proud that, we're a Long Island company and we're helping the community that we're in. Without Long Island, we wouldn't be who we are. So we do a tremendous amount of work with the philanthropic organizations who've stepped up during these tough times. And I want to give a special thank you to all those organizations as well. This community that we're in of Long Island, it's very resilient. We've gone through some very difficult times in the past, and we'll get through this. There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, but it's through, philanthropic organizations that have really led the way. The frontline workers, the healthcare workers, very special shout out to Northwell. I'm proud to be part of the Huntington Hospital Board of Directors, and I see firsthand the work that's been done during these tough times. So thank you to everyone who has been part of this award tonight. I really appreciate the recognition, and I appreciate Long Island is being recognized during a very difficult time. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Sal. Our next honoree is Deidra O'Connell. Deidra is the Chief Executive Officer of Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty. In that capacity, she oversees the sales management of this $4 billion organization with 850 sales associates and nearly 100 employees in 25 offices spanning Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk counties, the North Fork of Long Island, and West Hampton Beach. O'Connell has led the company's ongoing expansion into new markets, most recently on Long Island's South Shore, with the opening of an office in the city of Long Beach. In 2020, under her direction, Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty management team quickly met the challenges imposed by COVID-19, implementing safety protocols and providing extensive video training to continue to close transactions and show homes virtually. COVID forced Daniel Gale to readjust and retool how it did business almost overnight. This was aided by the company's almost 100-year history, core values, and by leading edge technologies and systems. As a result, Daniel Gale Sotheby's International achieved its highest sales numbers ever in 2020, ranking it among the top 10 Sotheby's International Realty's nearly 1,000 brokerages. Deidra is not here with us evening, so I'll just accept her award and give thanks. She may be busy closing another deal. With that, I'd like to introduce Congressman Tom Suozzi, who would like to add his congratulations to our top business leaders.
Honorees, the business leaders of Nassau County. We've all been through so much this past year, and the effects of the pandemic have been very cruel in how uneven the effects have been. Some people have been relatively unscathed. Some people, nobody got sick, nobody died in their family. Some people can work remotely. Some people are making money. They're doing fine during this whole thing. Wall Street's doing well, and online retail is doing well, and certain businesses are doing fantastic. And then at the bottom of the K recovery, other people are wiped out. 25% of the people who make under $40,000 a year are unemployed. Restaurants and catering halls and live entertainment venues and airline industries, hospitality have been wiped out. Struggles with office space. It's just a real challenge for so many different people, whether it's at the business level or personal level, and other people just, like I said, unscathed. The bottom line is, I know many of you that are being honored here tonight, and I know that you all care about the entire community. You certainly care about your businesses, about your profit lines, you care about your employees, you care about your customers, but I know most of you, and you genuinely care about the community as well. And we're in this together. And we want to thank all of you for everything you do to make Nassau County, to make Long Island, New York State, and our country the best it can be. We're in very challenging times right now. And with your talent and your interest, we can get through this thing and we can build back better than ever before. And I know that you're just the people to do it. So congratulations on this recognition. And thank you so much for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman, for your words. Our next honoree is Scott Reckler. Scott is the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Rxr Realty, one of the largest owners, managers, and developers in New York City and the surrounding region. The Rxr platform manages 75 commercial real estate properties and has investments with an aggregate gross asset value of approximately $20.2 billion as of June 2020. These comprise 26 million square feet of commercial properties, inclusive of multifamily residential portfolio of approximately 3,400 units under operation or development, and control of development rights for an additional 2,900 multifamily and for sale units in New York. Scott has combined his role in making some of the largest developments, including on Long Island as we speak. He's combined those with public service, serving on many boards. He's served on the Board of Commissioners of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, including a stint as chairman of the Port Authority's Capital Planning Committee, where he was which was involved in the World Trade Center redevelopment. He currently serves as chairman of the Regional Plan Association, as a member of the Real Estate Board of New York, a board member and co-chair of the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research, a board member of Northwell Health, the largest healthcare system in New York, and is a member of the NYU Real Estate Institute Advisory Committee. Scott used his experience with not only with the attacks of September 11th, the 2008 financial crisis, and Superstorm Sandy to respond quickly to the COVID-19 public health crisis. Rxr established a dedicated COVID-19 task force, which continues to meet on a weekly basis to monitor and respond to the rapidly evolving social, public health, and economic crisis. As COVID-19 hit, Rxr was well positioned to develop RxWell, a new comprehensive public health-based data-driven program that combines the physical and digital to give Rxr customers the peace of mind they need returning to a safe and healthy workplace. In addition to leaning into repositioning its core business for a post-COVID-19 world, in 2020, Rxr used its resources to support local communities navigate through COVID-19 by matching 300 skill-based volunteers with 150 local small businesses and not-for-profits in need. Rxr also gave $5 million to organizations throughout the New York region to support efforts to address food insecurity, struggling small businesses, the digital divide, and more. So we'd like to thank Scott for his many efforts and hear his acceptance.
Good evening. I'm Scott Reckler, Chairman and CEO of Rxr Realty. I want to first congratulate all the other honorees for also being recognized as one of Nassau County's top business leaders. I want to thank Steve Blank and the entire Blank Slate media team for this honor. COVID-19 has tested us all, but I believe it's during times like these when we, as business leaders, must step up. And this coming year is an opportunity for all business leaders to step up in helping our communities safely navigate through the COVID fog of war and start to rebuild a post-COVID world that is better and brighter for all New Yorkers. For Rxr, Nassau County is where it began. It is our home. We're not only proud of where we started, but with the new Nassau Hub, Garvey's Point, and many others, we're looking forward to reimagining a world post-COVID with a number of exciting projects throughout the county in the coming years. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and while tonight's virtual event is certainly a reason to celebrate, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in person, hopefully very, very soon. Thank you again to Blank Slate Media, and congratulations to all the other honorees. Have a great night.
We thank Scott for his comments. Our next honoree is Phil Palumbo. Phil is the founder and chief executive of Palumbo Wealth Management, an SEC registered investment advisor focused on high net worth families. Phil decided to open his firm in January 2020 in Great Neck after 20 years of working for major wealth management firms. The start of the worst pandemic in 100 years is probably not the best time to open any business, but Phil was able to succeed thanks to his preparation and thorough due diligence. This allowed his clients to make as seamless a transition from other financial institutions possible to a platform that Phil created that is solely focused on his clients as a fiduciary. Today, just completing his first year in business, his firm is thriving and continues to be laser focused on providing a world-class experience for his clients. The company now has a 7-person team and 5 strategic partners focused on assisting clients to prepare for or make the most of their retirement and protect against unforeseen risks. Phil, congratulations on a tremendous achievement in a difficult market.
Stephen, thank you very much. I appreciate that. First, I wanted to say I thank Blank Slate so much for acknowledging this incredible award, to be alongside some of the most successful business leaders on Long Island, in the country, if not beyond. I'm extremely humbled by it, to say the least. The one thing I would say is, we have a belief and passion in providing a platform that you believe that will serve clients to the best of your ability, putting their interests first. It's a totally different environment to where I was, and I can feel that. But in order to get there, you have to take a certain level of risk, which we took. We just didn't know COVID was going to happen. So that risk, was we landed successfully on our feet only because of one reason, and it's because of our clients. So really, I wanted to take this time to say more than anything that we thank our clients for their confidence and trust and loyalty in us and how we serve them. And every single day, our team, we work so hard and push hard every day to create this incredible world-class experience for our clients, for their children and their grandchildren to come for many years. So again, Stephen, thank you so much for this. We're again honored, humbled by it, and I look forward to many more years. And congratulations to all these incredible business leaders, and to be alongside you again. I've looked up to many of you throughout my career, and to be here with you is just absolutely incredible. So congratulations to everybody, and thank you, Stephen, very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Just a quick note, I didn't mention it at the outset, but we will have Michael Dowling as our keynote speaker. We didn't name a best biggest contributor of 2020, but I'm sure that when I tell you, if you're not familiar with what Michael has done, you'll agree and be very, very interested to hear what Michael says about the health crisis of COVID-19. But right now, I now get to introduce our next honoree, Regina Gill, who is the founder and executive director of the Gold Coast Art Center, a regional cultural organization now in its 25th year that features music, art, dance, dramatic arts, and film. Full disclosure, I sit on the board with Regina, and I can attest to her qualities. The Art Center's mission is to promote and support the arts, which it does through a School for the Arts, a free public art gallery, arts and education outreach program, year-round film screening and discussion series, and an annual Gold Coast International Film Festival, among many other programs. Regina herself is a painter and sculptor, freelance graphic designer, and New York State licensed art specialist, K through 12. She has served on the Kennedy Center Partners in Education Advisory Board and as a grants review panelist for the New York State Council of the Arts. Needless to say, the Art Center's work was challenged when the COVID epidemic hit. The Art Center was forced to transition to an online presence This meant that teachers could teach children, that teachers couldn't teach, children could teach, children and adults could still learn, an audience could still watch the best new independent documentary and foreign films, filmmaker, Q&As, concerts, and gallery tours, even book signings from the safety of their homes. As a result, the teaching and the show went on, including the Gold Coast International Film Festival and the year-round film festival. The Arts Center presented hundreds of films, both virtually and in person, at a series of drive-in events around the region. It's my pleasure to honor Regina Gill. I don't see Regina here, so hopefully we'll catch her later. Let me move on to introduce Mark Spector, a principal and owner of Spector Group, an architectural firm that provides innovative designs to businesses, moving the practice of architecture beyond traditional boundaries and market competition. Mark's influential business model is built on the creation of impactful life spaces, regardless of project constraints and typology, cultivation of client and team relationships into friendships, growth in new market and services, and continual advancement of design innovation hand in hand with profitable business practices. Mark leads a diverse team of professionals live in the office and virtually across the country and world, advancing the creative and technical strategies in the various practices the firm has built over its 55-year journey. Sustainability, carbon neutrality, passive and net zero principles of design and construction are now indigenous in the firm's cultural DNA. Mark is a member of the American Institute of Architects College of Fellows. Fellowship is the highest honor to be bestowed upon an architect within the profession, recognizing not only the achievements of the architect as an individual, but also the architect's contribution to the profession and society. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a unique crisis for businesses. The profession of architecture in particular, now more than ever, architects are being called upon to lead to the return to the new normal. Mark, I would like to offer my congratulations for a job very well done.
Steve, thank you. Great to be here. Great to be amongst our Long Island colleagues that I've had the honor of working with for so many years in shaping Long Island. Had the great pleasure of working with so many on some incredible ecosystems here. We're in construction right now on critical projects for the county, the Nassau County Matrimonial Courts, and the Long Island, the Nassau County Police Department Center for Law Enforcement and Intelligence, all under Lauren Curran's guidance, and it's a pleasure to work with her. And a shout out to Michael Dowling and Northwell as well for their phenomenal work in leading not just Long Island, but the entire nation through this pandemic. And personally to my family as well, for our experience with COVID early on, Northwell was instrumental in the success and recovery of my family. Though Spector Group is a global architecture and design practice, it's always an honor and very personal to me to be recognized by our local community. It's where your actions as a leader resonate, with gravity. And my dad, Michael Spector, who most of you do know, who founded our firm 55 years ago on Long Island, has always taught me that no matter how global you become, your focus always must be local. So go global, but be local. So now, especially during these most challenging times, it's our responsibility as leaders, everyone on this award list who are being recognized as leaders, to show empathy and innovation and resiliency. And it's our collective responsibility here as leaders in our community to bring everybody back to the new normal. As an essential profession, architecture and Spector Group, we are fully operational in our Woodbury office. We have 100% of our team back full time at this point. And we want to set the example for other professions to do the same, to feel safe, but to create an experience and a culture for your teams to want to come back. And that is so important for us to get through the next phase. And we all have this fiduciary responsibility to lead this way, because if we don't do it, who is going to do it? So again, I implore all of you to take that position, and I thank you again for giving me this platform to speak, and I'm honored to be honored by Blade and alongside my colleagues. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. For our next,
Sorry, Steve, we actually have Regina here, bit of technical issues. So Regina is just going to say a few words as soon as she's able to unmute and start her video.
okay, terrific.
You'll just have to unmute, Regina.
Done.
There we go. Yes.
Yay. Hello. I don't see you anymore. What happened to everybody? Hello?
We can see and hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine. Hello. Nice to see you. It's been a great pleasure to hear what everyone has said. Many of the honorees, and I congratulate everyone, well deserved, because these are truly the people who make Long Island more vital and more dynamic. Many of them are friends of the arts, of the Gold Coast arts in particular, and Richie Kessel, Tom Swazi, Hofstra University is a partner of the Gold Coast International Film Festival. So hello, I am Regina Gill, and I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of such a distinguished group of honorees. Thank you, Steve. I know you're on the board, but I also know that this was not a case of nepotism. I know that that you genuinely appreciate and support the arts and what we do, and that you've been taken aback by how quickly we were able to pivot from being inside our building, our wonderful building, with thousands of students and visitors and artists and performers, to one day having the building shut down and wondering, what do we do? And I have to tell you that we were planning our 25th anniversary, and it was hard fought and hard won, and we were very excited about it. And on March 13th, the Friday, the 13th, by coincidence, Nassau County shut down, and so we were forced to close our building. The question came up on Monday when we reconvened on Zoom: do we reopen? Do we wait this out? How long will this take? And if I can take credit for anything, I'll take credit for saying, no, we're going to stay open. We're going to pivot. We're going to get online. We're going to talk to our teachers, our performers, our artists. We're going to see what we can do to get everybody back online so that the students can still log on and be with these people with whom they have formed very close relationships, and as they learn their crafts, as they dance, especially the dancers who imagine dancing when you're only looking at the teacher's feet on the Zoom. Imagine ceramics when your clay, you have to go pick up the clay outdoors at the edge of the building, then go home and have the lesson with the teacher online. There were a lot of logistical issues, and we were able to overcome them. Different issues than certainly a lot of you have had as honorees. But we're convinced that our mission is an important one. And we're actually, I can say to you that on behalf of the board and on behalf of the faculty, the staff, and all the other boosters of the Arts Center, that everyone is incredibly proud of this award. It's not just coming to me. It's coming because that would be incredibly arrogant. Every business leader has, many of you have expressed, and every business leader knows that a business is only as good as, yes, its leadership, but only the leadership ability to inspire and motivate the team. And if you have a team for a not-for-profit, you have a team of people who are all heart. So it's a question of getting them to understand what the issues are, and to help them understand and be reassured that we will see this through. Your job is not going to fail. We will not fail. And we were able to pivot, and everything was presented online. We were, even as Steve pointed out, able to complete our 25th anniversary gala and produce the Gold Coast International Film Festival's 10th anniversary edition this past year. Thanks to Caroline Sorokoff, my associate director, and Michael Glickman, our chairman of the executive board, and so many others, Ralph Hyman, and people who have just put themselves out there working as if their lives depended on it, and yet with great heart. So I want to thank everyone for recognizing that the arts are a contributor to the business community, and that the arts do help with the economic vitality of our region, as well as being a cultural and educational asset. I thank you all, and I thank my team, and I thank my husband, who's been my silent partner throughout all these years. So looking forward. Thank you, Steve, for being on the board, you and all the other board members. And I look forward to seeing all of you when the world reopens.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you. Our next honoree is Andy Malikov. Andy is Chief Executive Officer for North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center, the leading nonprofit children's mental health agency on Long Island, where he has worked for 45 years. The Guidance Center is dedicated to restoring and strengthening the emotional well-being of children and their families, which we all know that 2020 was a particularly challenging time to do. A highly trained staff of psychiatrists, psychologists, clinical social workers, vocational rehabilitation counselors, and other mental health professionals lead the way in diagnosis, treatment, prevention, training, parent education, research, and advocacy. The Guidance Center helps children and families address issues such as depression and anxiety, developmental delays, bullying, teen pregnancy, sexual abuse, teen drug and alcohol use, and family crises stemming from illness, death, trauma, and divorce. The Guidance Center was a FEMA-funded responder to major disasters such as September 11th, 2001 terrorist attack on America, and Superstorm Sandy in 2012. Since March 2020, the COVID outbreak, North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center has transitioned from on-site mental health care to telehealth to meet the needs of thousands of children and families who have been experiencing increased anxiety and depression during this perilous time. In addition to his work at the Guidance Center, Andy is a prolific writer and winning of 2 Folio Journalism Awards. He has been editor of Social Work with Groups, a journal of community and clinical practices, since 1990. He's also a regular columnist for Blank Slate Media. Andy, thank you for all your work.
Well, thank you, Steve, and all the folks at Blank Slate Media for this great honor. Congratulations to my fellow honorees. And as everyone has said before me, this has been a most difficult time. And as we know at North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center, it's been particularly difficult for children and young people, where what we're seeing on a daily basis is kids experiencing loss, uncertainty, and isolation, which lead to anxiety, depression, and grief. And so what we try to provide is consistency, connection, predictability, and a sense of hope. And if I were to look back over the 45 years I worked there, and we used to speak among one another at the agency about every time there was a headline of a disaster that we got called. People didn't always know about it because our work is confidential, it's private. But whether it was the Long Island Railroad massacre, the Avianca plane crash, the explosion of Flight 800, the shooting at the Lynbrook Church and School, 9/11 certainly, and also the superstorm that Steve referred to, and now this health disaster that we're involved with. And so in parting, what I would like to remind everyone, probably doesn't need reminding to this group, is that it's really important for the kids and families we're working with today that while we're in the midst of this pandemic and trying to crawl our way out of it, not to lose sight that we're coming up on the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack on America. And so many of those that we know that were affected by this, that lost family members, certainly for the kids that we worked with 20 years ago, who were 8, 9, 10, 15, 16 then, are now in their late 20s and their 30s, that the children today, 20 years from now, will want to know that we remember. And so by remembering 9/11 and commemorating that time and marking it as an important ritual, it will also help those that we're working with today. So once again, I want to thank Blank Slate Media and congratulate my fellow honorees for all the great work you do in business, and especially the attention that you paid to your employees and to the consumers that you serve in all of your business endeavors. Good night.
Thank you, Andy. Our next honoree is James Metzer, Jim Metzer, he goes by, who put his drive and entrepreneurial instincts in action when he opened the Whitmore Group in Roslyn in 1989. Today, as the award-winning insurance and financial service agency's chairman and CEO, Jim continues to lead the business located in Garden City. There, the company has more than 70 employees and is known as the Whitmore Agency. The agency prides itself on developing customized programs tailored to protecting you, your family, your assets, that include a broad range of personal insurance services. Jim also focuses on special industries such as funeral services, transportation and livery, restaurants and hospitality, construction and bonding, fine arts and collectibles, and the cannabis industry. In addition to driving bottom line business wins, Jim is well known for his philanthropy. He contributes to and participates in numerous organizations, believing that his support will make it possible for future generations of leaders to attain their dreams. Some of the philanthropy follows an outstanding sports career in high school and at Hofstra University, where he was named a Division I All-American, and his scoring average of 4.9 points per game still ranks fifth in the history of the Hofstra lacrosse program. More than a dozen programs, awards, and scholarships recognize his contributions to Hofstra over the course of a 40-year relationship as a student, athlete, and philanthropist. And as COVID-19 raged on, he teamed up with a former Hofstra lacrosse teammate, Dave Wojcik Jr., a retired U.S. Army colonel, to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Long Island, Hofstra Athletics, Hofstra Law School, America's Vet Dogs, and Canine Companions for Independence. We congratulate Jim for his contribution and his good work. Jim's unavailable, so I'll introduce our next honoree, who is Ron Edelson, a founder and co-president of ZE Creative Communications, an agency Ron describes as an eclectic mix of innovators, critical thinkers, foodies, Rubik's Cube solvers, and wonderful individuals with big fearless ideas. ZE Creative Communications, which was originally Zimmerman Edelson, Inc., is one of the few Long Island-based communication agencies that has remained independent across the multitude of changes in the communications field over the last 3 decades. During the 30-year span at ZE Creative Communication, Ron has led the agency's creative efforts, which include delivering messaging and branding campaigns that integrate and leverage multiple communications platforms. Ron and the creative team at ZE Creative Communications have developed multi-million TV, radio, print, and digital campaigns for the agency's diverse clientele, including real estate developers, energy providers, healthcare, financial, legal, and telecommunication clients. Ron also heads up the agency's education division, which works with numerous public school systems on Long Island and Westchester County, 2 BOCES, and higher education institutions. Ron said that rather than the pandemic being an obstacle,
it has provided opportunity to develop a hybrid work model. The agency, he said, proved it could be just as productive, maybe more so working remotely. In the process, ZE Creative has changed its perspective on how the agency is structured going forward. This includes hiring an employee who lives in Peru, something the company would have never considered pre-COVID. Ron, congratulations for all your success and your hard work.
Thank you, Steve. I'd like to obviously congratulate you, Steve, on the wonderful work of Blank Slate Media and for honoring all of us tonight. Congratulate all the other honorees. And this has been a strange time, I think, for all of us, for all companies. And we're in the communication field. And one of the things that we have seen with all of our clients, we've been in business now for over 30 years based in Great Neck. What we've seen is that the whole world of communications, the whole field of communications has changed. And whether you're a retail company selling to customers, whether you're a municipality, and we represent many municipalities across Long Island, whether you're a school district, communications, the need for communications has been ramped up, and you have to do it differently. And it's been an exciting time for us, helping all of our clients learn how to communicate in new ways and using new platforms that they never thought before. And quite honestly, we think has now changed how we will be communicating even after the pandemic is over, after we're all back in our offices. How we communicate, the need for communication, how often we communicate has been changed. And we're excited to be part of that whole world. And just, I would like to say, I'd like to thank my partner, Robert Zimmerman. Many of you know Robert. We founded this company. We're both from Great Neck and we did it together. I'd like to thank my other partner, David Chauvin, and our whole management team. We've all implied it, but I would just also state it again. While we're all the forward-facing people in our companies, we're the people who have founded the companies, we're the ones who are the senior management in our companies. We're here and we're honored to, and lucky enough to be honored like this because of the people who work for us. And specifically for our company, we've been in one of the things that we're most proud of is that we've been able to mentor hundreds of people in the communication field who have walked through our doors when they've just gotten out of college, when they're first getting their first job, have worked with us for numerous years, and then have gone on to bigger and better things at city agencies and agencies around the country. And as much as we're happy with the work and proud of the work we do for our clients, being mentors and putting all of these wonderful, creative, innovative people into the field of communications is as much a part of what we do and as much of why we're proud of what we do as anything else. Again, thank you, Steve, for this honor and for honoring everyone else on Long Island and making this an important part of what we do here every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. Our next honoree, we have another Ron, Ron Keats, who is president of the Keats Agency, a local insurance agency. Well, it's both local and beyond. He has offices on Long Island in Mineola and Baldwin, upstate New York, in Orange and Sullivan counties, as well as Atlanta, Fort Myers, Florida. His agency serves over 10,000 households. The company has been honored year after year for many industry awards, including a 2014 induction into the Nationwide Insurance Hall of Fame. Ron is one of fewer than 60 agents who have achieved this recognition in the 100-year history of the company. Ron does things differently than most local insurance companies. At Keats Agency, the client is contacted at least once a year for free review of their policies to make sure the client's protection matches their needs and what is being offered in the marketplace. The agency's claims team is also proactive, reaching out to clients upon notice of a loss to support the client in their dealings with the insurance carrier. The agency is also an industry leader in technology and training and offers a large inventory of insurance carriers. More carriers mean more choice and better opportunity to find the best fit for a client. In response to COVID, Ron and his team expanded their work from home and learned to efficiently function as a hybrid, serving clients remotely and at their Keats offices. Their work isn't only in the sales and servicing of insurance. The Keats staff is very active outside the office with extensive volunteer and charitable work with organizations such as Long Island Cares, Island Harvest, the Lustgarten Foundation, and others. Ron, congratulations on your award.
I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Blank, and entire Blank Slate Media for even considering me for this honor. Being an insurance professional is certainly not as sexy as that of some of the executives, entrepreneurs, doctors, and educators being honored. But we know how important our work is. And COVID came and we were prepared. We sent everybody home with laptops and apps for their phones so that we wouldn't miss a beat. We'd be there and available for many clients. You know, much like when Sandy came, each of our staff wanted to work. They wanted to make sure we could take care of all those clients. And even with COVID, fires still happen, accidents still happen, and other losses still happen. And we were there. And, you know, not only that, we were able to keep 100% of our employees working during this terrible time. So I'm extremely proud of the work that my staff does in protecting families and businesses in the way that they should be, with smart, cost-effective, and very personal insurance care. In addition, that same team puts an inordinate, as you mentioned, an inordinate amount of work doing good for others by volunteering, raising money, collecting food, attending in walks and rides and other events to raise awareness. I'm so thankful for their efforts, their integrity, and their general desire to do so much for so many. They thrive on helping others, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I feel truly blessed, and this honor really belongs to them and to my brother John, who really runs the operation. So I thank them, and again, I thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Our next honoree is Geffen Roddick. He is the Director of Marketing for Men on the Move, one of Long Island's largest moving and self-storage companies. Locally founded by John Bayer in 1985 as a moving company, Men on the Move has grown to offer warehouse storage, self-storage, and it recently expanded into the mobile storage industry. Their moving division includes a fleet of over 25 trucks and trailers. They offer local and long distance moves throughout the East Coast for both residential and commercial customers. Geffen joined the company in 2012 and has been instrumental in marketing and development of all its divisions. He was part of the core team at Men on the Move that had to make many tough decisions through the COVID pandemic. While maintaining existing operation in the safest way possible, he helped Men on the move forward with construction of a self-storage center in Deer Park. And in some cases, the moving industry had demand because of people wanting to live on Long Island, and Geffen helped meet that need. Geffen, congratulations for your contributions.
Hey, Steve, just want to make sure you can hear me and see me.
We can do both.
All right. So I'd like to say thank you for the recognition. I'm humbled to be perceived in the ranks of the other honorees here tonight. And as the Director of Marketing and Self-Storage for Men on the Move, I'm happy to be an ongoing customer of the awesome suite of Blank Slate media products and mediums. And Stephen Blank and his team are an inspiration to the local media landscape. Thank you, Stephen, for everything that you've done through this pandemic. Men on the Move is widely known as Long Island's premier moving and self-storage company of choice for thousands of customers a year. We continuously serve and receive awards such as Best of Long Island, Angie's Lease Super Service Award, as well as maintain the Better Business Bureau's highest rating. We're also proud to support the autism community on Long Island. As some of you may know, John Bayer's son is autistic, and it's something that we all, a lot of us, unfortunately, have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. One of the many philanthropic efforts we make for this community includes awarding all of our uniforms and promotional supplies from a Port Washington-based company named Spectrum Designs Foundation. And we urge tonight's fellow honorees to learn more about their story at spectrumdesigns.org. As for the pandemic we're all in, we're proud to have so far navigated these times as safely and as diligently as possible through each of our divisions. Thank you to Michael Dowling for all the work you and your team have done and continue to do in saving countless lives in the region. honestly, we're nothing compared to organizations like his. So really true, honestly, thank you. We're proud to announce 2 new services for 2021, including the continued growth of our newest mobile storage division, which we named Men on the Move Storage Cube. These compared to other mobile storage containers that you find on Long Island, they're a little bit different in that they're insulated and they're owned by a local company here on Long Island, and we offer the labor. We also opened our latest self-storage facility in Deer Park just a few weeks ago to join our Woodbury and Farmingdale self-storage locations. We've developed nearly 1 million square feet of self-storage since 2001, and while that pales in comparison to some of the developers here, we're thankful to be honored amongst you tonight. Thank you again, and remember, when you're ready to move, trust Men on the Move. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gavin. Our next honoree is William Merkin. Bill Merkin, a senior vice president at D&B Engineers and Architects, who has long been an innovator and visionary leader in Long Island's engineering community. As head of D&B's Civil Engineering and Water Supply Division, he oversees the planning, design, and construction of municipal and private stormwater management projects, water treatment distribution, water storage tanks, site development, and roadway improvements. Bill's ability to oversee complex details of municipal infrastructure projects from master planning through completion is unparalleled. With 30 years of experience bringing projects in on schedule and under budget, it's no surprise he's the go-to professional for municipalities, private industry, and peers alike. Combining water supply and engineering knowledge with a passion for preserving the integrity of Long Island's aquifer, he helps communities meet regulatory requirements and keep pace with evolving environmental needs. Bill's stewardship of innumerable water supply projects will have a profound impact on Long Island for generations to come. As the pandemic heightened, D&B quickly adapted. They deployed portable computers and collaborative software to reduce in-office staff by 75% and business thrive. Bill, congratulations on your award.
Thanks, Steve. I really want to thank Blank Slate Media for including me in this awards event. I'm truly honored to be included in the good company of the other honorees. It's been a difficult year for all of us, but D&B Engineers and Architects is a business area that simply would not allow us to take a pause during the pandemic. We were able to adapt by allowing many of our staff to work from home while still keeping our office open for business. The drinking water supply team that I lead at D&B is working long hours every day to support the needs of our clients. There's been some significant new water quality regulations that were implemented in the midst of the pandemic. This required the fast track design of new water treatment facilities all over Long Island. So we really were not in a situation where we could pause. We're doing everything we can to help serve those water supply clients on Long Island. It's a very important public health regulations that have to be met. And so we're really happy to be in a position where we're able to continue providing these services, even though we're going through these hard times. So thank you again to Blank Slate Media and for the award, and congratulations to the other honorees tonight.
Thank you very much. Our next honoree I mentioned is a very special honoree. He's our keynote speaker, and just about everyone knows him. Michael Dowling, the president and CEO of Northwell Health. He is one of healthcare's most recognized and outspoken executives. Michael leads one of the nation's largest healthcare organizations and the largest integrated healthcare system in New York State. Northwell Health has $13.5 billion in annual revenue, 23 hospitals, more than 71,000 employees, and nearly 800 outpatient locations, including 220 primary care facilities, 51 urgent care, and numerous home rehabilitation and end-of-life facilities. The health system's strong commitment to medical education includes 1,800 plus residents and fellows, one of the largest medical residency programs in the US, as well as 4,000 researchers performing more than 25 studies each year. In 2020, Michael was a national leader in the response to the COVID-19 when it first struck the United States, with New York as its epicenter, and little was known about its treatment. The pandemic would force the hospital system to change how it operated almost overnight. Changes that in many cases were made across the health system that became changes made across the health system in New York State. Overall, Northwell has treated more than 130,000 COVID patients, including 16,000 who were hospitalized at just one time, more than any other hospital system in the country. In doing so, the health system increased its bed capacity, including an increase of 2,000 beds in just 2 weeks, began the use of 3D print nasal swabs for COVID testing, converted bi-level positive airway pressure machines into mechanical ventilators when they were in such great need, and took advantage of its size and integration to balance the load of patients and transport 810 patients from overrun hospitals to those that had bed capacity. Northwell also kept its employees safe, investing in critical personal protective equipment to help those working the front lines, one of whom, Sandra Lindsay, was the first person in the US to receive the historic COVID vaccine in December 2020. Dowling also provided support to a staff fearful of the virus and saddened by the number of patients dying by walking the halls of the system's hospital and support. Prior to becoming president and CEO in 2002, Michael was the health system's executive vice president and chief operating officer. Before joining Northwell, he was a senior VP at Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield. He served in New York State government for 12 years, including 7 years as state director of Health Education and Human Services and as deputy secretary to the governor. He was also commissioner of the State Department of Social Services, as well as a professor of social policy and assistant dean at Fordham University Graduate School of Social Services and director of Fordham campus in Westchester County. It's my pleasure to present Michael's keynote address for this evening.
Good evening, everybody, and I'd just like to welcome all that are participating in tonight's wonderful event. And I want to say a special thanks to Blank Slate Media for putting on such an event and for everything you're doing to honor all of those in Long Island that have done such spectacular work. And I do want to say a congratulations to all of the other honorees, all exceptional people, all doing wonderful stuff in their own businesses, and the major leaders in Long Island. So to all of you, I want to say congratulations. As you would all agree, we have been going through a very interesting year, a unique year. These past 9 months have been different than any other 9 months that we have experienced in our lifetime. And of course, it's not over. It will continue. But during the past year, we have seen lives disrupted, jobs lost, businesses closed. We've seen horrific illness. We have seen death. But we've also seen remarkable success. In the healthcare arena, we have seen and acknowledged, and I would hope that we can acknowledge, that healthcare came forth in dealing with this COVID crisis in an extraordinarily successful way. If anybody ever doubted the importance of healthcare organizations to the sustainability of health in the local communities across the island, they saw it in action over the past 12 months and are seeing it today. So for everybody that is involved in any way in healthcare, I want to say congratulations to all of you, because what you are doing and what you have done in this particular circumstance that is unique in our history is something that should be congratulated on a continuing basis. You know, your true character always is displayed in a crisis. And we've been going through a crisis, and our character was displayed. You know, many of you have heard me say a number of times that it's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you react to what happens. So we have reacted in an unbelievably positive way. We're not out of the woods, and now we're in the midst of the vaccination process, which will take many, many months, as you know, because of the lack of supply. But if everybody continues to wear a mask, social distance, do everything that they should be doing in terms of prevention, as well as at the same time that we're vaccinating, we will succeed in winning the war against this virus. This will happen. It will end. It will be over. And I believe strongly that when we get to the fall, or late summer or in the fall, we'll be in a very good circumstance indeed. Now, much has also changed recently. The experience with COVID has taught us a lot. We've learned a lot of new lessons. We've also seen a change in administration in Washington, a new focus, more positive orientation, an acknowledgement of the reality that we're currently in. We also have seen over the last 12 months a change in Albany, new legislature, new members. So the world is a little different today than it was a year ago. And everybody now talks about the new normal, how we go forward from here, how we deal with the acceleration of the use of technology. The fact that we're having a meeting like this and not in person is an indication of what the availability of technology like this allows us to do in the future. The question is how we actually use it, how appropriately we use it. We also know, for example, that thousands and thousands of people across Long Island are now working from home, working remotely. Very different from where we were a year ago. So how do we deal with that going forward? Every industry has been affected. It's not just only healthcare, of course, as you all know. Every industry has been affected. So now the question is how do we create that new normal? And all of the honorees tonight and many others that are out there who are leading organizations have to now sit back and ask themselves, how do I create the new future? Yesterday's yesterday, today is today, but tomorrow is going to be different. So what is the tomorrow going to look like? How do we evolve? How do we transform? How do we become more efficient? How do we become more productive? How do we provide health care to populations of people that were disproportionately affected by COVID? How do we bring the economy back? How do we do it safely? These are questions, and many others, for leadership. In Long Island, we are very, very fortunate that we have lots of leaders. We have people who care. Long Island is a great place. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. But it takes leadership to be able to move us forward. So let's talk for a second about what we mean by leadership. Leadership, in my view, is about managing the present, selectively forgetting the past, and as I said a few moments ago, creating the future. Leadership is about building unity, unity of purpose. It's about bringing people together. It's about giving oxygen to hope, giving oxygen to decency. Leadership is about building trust. It's about taking accountability. It's not about promoting dissent. That's not what leadership is about. And as you all know, we have lots of issues nationally and regionally to deal with now. There's too much division, too much disunity, too much partisanship. There is a hesitancy to compromise. In fact, a resistance to compromise. In fact, if you compromise these days, people say you're a bad person. This, in my view, pretty ridiculous. We've seen what the lack of leadership has done to the sense of community over the last number of years, nationally. This cannot go on. We have to build that sense of community, that idea of interdependence, that we're all interconnected. What was remarkable during the COVID crisis, and is still going on, is how all of our frontline employees, all of our various academic disciplines, all of our clinical disciplines all came together in unity. They unified around a common enemy, a virus. They saw themselves at war against that enemy. And why did we do so well in dealing with it up to this point? Is because of that coming together. Partisanship didn't matter. And when you were walking, and I walked around every single ICU in each of our hospitals, all during COVID, and I'm still doing it. It didn't matter whether you were conservative or Democrat, Republican or liberal. It didn't matter when you walked the floors of those hospitals. Everybody came together to do the right thing for everybody, irrespective. There's a lesson here for the rest of us. If we could just act as well as our frontline employees acted, if we could have all had the same sense of compassion and caring and dedication and optimism, imagine what we could accomplish. It would be absolutely extraordinary. And you leave that environment, you go out into the world and everybody's fighting, everybody's arguing, everybody's blaming everybody else. It's not the world we want. We all leave a legacy. And what is that? To leave the place a little bit better at the end of our careers. So all the other honorees tonight and all of those others, you have responsibility here. When you become a leader of an organization, it's not just about walking around with the title or sitting behind a big desk or having a large CV or resume. It's about how you use your influence. How you use your influence to do what's right. And you know, leadership is about promoting optimism. We can win anything if we have a positive attitude, if we tackle it carefully. What I would say to everybody that's listening, especially those who are leading organizations, that you have a dual role. Firstly, you have a role to transform your organization now to create the new normal, to bring your staff together, to commit to your staff, to increase customer service, whatever business that you're in, to enhance engagement of your employees, to set a new strategy for the next 5 years, to ask yourself on a continuing basis, where do I want to be now, 5 years from now, in my organization? That's your inside role. But we also have an outside role because we are running organizations. We have a bigger obligation and responsibility. We have a responsibility to the community at large. We are part of the community. What we do matters. People watch what we do. People watch what we say. People watch how we act. And that larger issue, how you use that influence to make the community a better and stronger place going forward, is a major part of our role. And it is the essence, in my view, of leadership. I, for example, and many of you know this, at Northwell have been taking a leading role in the issue of gun violence. Now, people may ask me why, and have asked me, why are you involved in the gun violence issue? Because to me, what we have in this country is absolutely disastrous. Gun violence is a public health issue. We see it in our operating rooms, we see it in our hospital beds, we see it in our behavioral health centers. We see the family distraught and lack of well-being as a result of this. It is an issue we should be concerned about, irrespective of your perspective on the Second Amendment. It's an important issue. You may disagree or agree, and you may have other issues that you want to take on, but you need to take on other issues outside your narrow role in your organization. I've also been very much involved in the issue of supporting veterans, hiring veterans, helping people when they come back from overseas, helping to protect the rest of us. We have a special obligation to them. I've also been very much involved in the issue of immigration. Every single one of you that's watching this and involved in this is an immigrant. You come from an immigrant background. Immigration is what made the United States. We should read the history of immigration in the United States, and it would confound us to think and listen to some of the things that are being talked about today, nationally and regionally. What talked about each one of us, whatever ethnic backgrounds we come from, were talked, all those similar things that are being discussed today were discussed about our forebears. And the other issue is human trafficking that we're involved in. One of our physicians at Huntington Hospital, Santosh Paulus, has been taking a lead in that issue. So these are broad issues. But I think that's our responsibility, to reach out, bring people together, educate to the extent that we can. United States' future is great if we unify, if we see our role in the world differently. So I would say to all of you, we're very fortunate indeed. All of the honorees tonight, we are a very fortunate group of people. The question is, as I just mentioned, how are we going to use it? How do we use the power that we have? Because we have more power than we think. How do we use it for the betterment of our community? And when our community is better, our families are better. Our kids will have a better future. We are community leaders, not just leaders of our individual organizations. And I would hope and wish that more and more people would get involved more globally to bring about what is desirable, what's necessary, and what's important. So again, I thank you for this exceptional honor, and I again congratulate everybody that are co-honorees tonight. Let's understand how really lucky we are. Thank you very much.
Well, we thank Michael Dowling for taking the time to share his thoughts on these issues, and he's made some really excellent points. So we thank him. Moving on to our next award honoree is Rory Godwin, who is president of Compass Real Estate's Tri-State region, directly overseeing all operations and strategy. Despite the challenges posed by the global pandemic, Rory led the company's expansion into the North Shore of Long Island and Northern New Jersey, onboarding agents virtually and equipping them with the industry's leading digital tools to operate from anywhere. Rory said the company was able to expand during the pandemic because of heavy investment before COVID-19 in recruiting the best software engineers from leading tech companies like Google and Amazon to modernize how real estate business operates. Once the pandemic hit, he said, Compass had the infrastructure to best allow the agents and their clients to work remotely. Compass agents have access to a suite of tools such as marketing, content, and creation software, A1-powered home valuation software, and location-based mobile listing ads. Compass has had a strong presence in the East End for half a decade, and with the expansion onto Long Island, it now has strongholds in Manhasset, Garden City, Roslyn, Syosset, Woodbury, Huntington, as well as Oceanside. Rory was instrumental in bringing Compass to Long Island and pairing established local agents with modern tools and a national referral network, redefining the business of real estate while remaining true to local preferences, customs, and values. Rory, congratulations on your accomplishments.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this award and this honor, and that's a tough act to follow. Michael's comments were really moving, and I think incredibly present given the time we're in. I want to accept this award on behalf of the amazing close to 300 agents that are part of the Compass family now on Long Island. Compass was started about 7 years ago, and from when we started till today has gone from 0 agents to over 20,000 around the country, and is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of the United States and the largest independent brokerage in the United States. I've been at the firm for those entire 7 years, but until we got to Long Island, there was a bit of our journey that was not complete. And for me, growing up on Long Island, having been raised in Cold Spring Harbor, and making my entire childhood home on Long Island, and eventually what will be my permanent home on Long Island, for me, this was more than a business decision or a strategic decision. This was something that was a bit of an emotional decision. And seeing the 8 offices that we have so far that opened up during the pandemic, to see our close to 300 agents, to see their signs popping up and their marketing and their listings, every time I see it, it brings a smile to my face. And so I'm very, very optimistic for not only just the future of Compass in Long Island, but the future of Long Island. One of the comments that was made earlier was we need to continue to invest in Long Island and bring opportunity to Long Island for all people across all walks of life. And I couldn't agree with that more. And I think the business of being a real estate agent is one of the amazing opportunities that provides that. And so I'm very much looking forward to continuing to do that and investing in Long Island and making Long Island more prosperous and better for our children and those that come after us, as it was for people like me, who got to have an amazing childhood growing up there and being raised there. So thank you so much. Looking forward to coming back, hopefully soon, when we are the #1 firm on Long Island. So take care.
Thank you, Rory. Congratulations on your achievements. Our next honoree is Rebecca Sannon. Rebecca is the President CEO of the Health and Welfare Council of Long Island, an umbrella organization for nonprofits that advances social justice and equitable human service delivery. Rebecca has a long history of working collaboratively with nonprofits, government, and the business community on issues affect the regional economy and services offered to people. In 2020, Rebecca led regional coordinated response to COVID-19 by bringing hundreds of nonprofit executives to the virtual table each week with partners from federal, state, and county governments to plan and coordinate disaster response. This included emergency food and nutritional equity, mental health counseling, health equity, legal needs, and domestic violence and child abuse. She has also coordinated and delivered thousands of needed PPE to nonprofit businesses to ensure frontline workers have what they need to continue to serve communities through the height of this crisis. I'd like to introduce and congratulate Rebecca Sannon.
Thank you so very much. I am honored, I'm grateful, and I'm humbled to accept this award tonight. During a time in which our businesses are hurting in ways that they have never experienced before, the opportunity to help nonprofit businesses reinvent, build sustainability, and deliver efficient services has been one of the greatest gifts of my career. The business community, the nonprofit business community, is vital. It is vital to the future of our region, to our recovery, and quite frankly, to our hope for a greater tomorrow. I accept this award on behalf of the amazing leaders, some honored here tonight, many quietly in their communities, helping others, as we're Zooming, helping others with snow, with economic assaults, and with so many of the challenges that are facing families. So I thank Blank Slate Media for uplifting the message that leadership in business, ethical, honest, devoted leadership, is about meeting principle with practice. It's about leading, but lifting others as we advance the causes and the issues that truly matter most to Long Islanders. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Rebecca, and congratulations for all your work. Our next honoree is John Cameron, the founder and managing partner of Cameron Engineering and Associates, a consulting, engineering, and planning firm serving the public and private sectors alike. Cameron Engineering provides various technical services to its clients, including civil, electrical, mechanical, structural, and environmental engineering, as well as planning, landscape architecture, and construction management. As experienced scientists and engineers, Cameron Engineering recognized the need to aggressively address the principal cause of COVID transmission, that being indoor air. As a result of an extensive investigation, the firm determined that needlepoint bipolar ionization was the safest and most effective in destroying viruses in indoor air. Accordingly, the firm installed the NPBI air purification system in their Long Island headquarters and New York City offices. The firm also engineered the installation of such systems in major commercial, municipal, and institutional buildings under the direction of Cameron, a licensed professional engineer of John Cameron, a marine engineer and a U.S. patent holder, the company has achieved noteworthy success in the engineering field, receiving local, state, and national awards for many of its projects. Some of the firm's projects have included the Long Island Railroad's third track, the Nassau Coliseum renovation, the FDNY's major firehouse renovation, Wyandotte Village, Garvey's Point development, Hofstra University Medical and Business Schools, and the Molloy School of Nursing. John, our pleasure to honor you this evening.
Thank you, Steve. I'd like to thank Blank Slate Media for this esteemed honor, and I congratulate my fellow distinguished honorees on their recognition. I'd also like to thank Michael Dowling, not only for his insightful and inspiring words tonight, but also for his leadership during this challenging crisis of our lifetime. As we all know, these are trying times, and it is times like these that require strong leadership. Governments, institutions, businesses, and individuals alike have all been severely impacted by this pandemic. It is critical that those of us in positions of leadership and authority utilize our influence and resources to effect a timely and positive exit from this public health and economic crisis. How successful our region will be in accomplishing such will depend upon the wisdom and resolve of our leaders. We owe it to our fellow Long Islanders and their families to ensure that this commitment is maintained. My firm, Cameron Engineering, and I make that commitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contributions. Our next honoree is Adam Schwam, the president and CEO of Sandwire, a growing provider of managed IT and telecommunication services for small and large businesses, and one that I'm very familiar with because Adam is having a dramatic role in reshaping my company's future. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Adam and his team came to of many businesses that needed to rapidly move to remote work. Sandwire's IT professionals working long hours as many clients shifted from traditional office environments to working remotely from home. These efforts kept businesses, professional practices, and healthcare providers open and connected, allowing them to retain employees and provide vital services to clients, customers, and patients. Adam is also, and his company is involved in fighting cyber attacks, ransomware, phishing, viruses, and malware that create an ongoing battle and a growing threat to all businesses. Sandwire remains vigilant, staying on top of all the latest software and strategies to protect their clients. The company has expanded its services to include cloud-based operations and solutions. The company, which I can tell you much about because we are doing that. The company also manages over 7,500 computers and the networks they run on. The firm added IP telecommunications products and services several years ago, supporting another layer of needed technology for businesses. Adam, I congratulate you for your achievements.
Thank you, Steve. I couldn't have said that better myself about my company. It's really humbling to be recognized and to be included in this prestigious group with my co-honorees. Congratulations to you all. I'd like to thank my staff for their hard work and dedication and being out there on the front line whenever it was required. I'd also like to thank my wife and daughters for putting up with my craziness, coming out of my home office 24/7, acting as a psychologist, not just as a computer guy. I'm living up to my motto that I tell my employees: diffuse the situation, psychology first, technology second. Sandwire is a technology group that manages and maintains technology for businesses on Long Island and the tri-state area. That's what we do. This year, we lived up to the elevator speech and more. In many cases, we aided all of our clients by truly keeping them functional. Behind the scenes, we kept hundreds of businesses up and thousands of users connected in more ways than one. In My team and I delivered laptops, computers to clients working at home. We've also delivered cameras for Zoom meetings. We had to train everyone to look and sound good on camera. When I asked, there was I'm sorry, I screwed up. When I was a kid, there was a TV show called Zoom. I never thought the word would become part of my daily vernacular. Everybody Zooms. In many ways, just as our clients had to adapt working at home, we had to adapt to over 90% of our clientele went remote, and it happened all in a 10-day period. My business produces the data on that statistic. You'd be surprised how many people realized they just did not have enough bandwidth for their needs. Our biggest challenges we had to contend with was connectivity, not the typical issue where you cannot access an application. The problem was with bandwidth and home wireless. Who would have thought 75 megabits was not enough? They would ask, why isn't my computer working? I would ask, where are you sitting? They would say outside around the pool, not realizing that their home wireless does not have good coverage and bandwidth and was being drained by their kids gaming or everyone Netflix binging all at once. In some homes, I'm not sure what was worse, not connecting to the office or not enough bandwidth to keep their kids occupied. If the biggest challenges they faced besides looking good on Zoom, it would have been great. All kidding aside, this year cybercrime was on the rise and it needs to be addressed. Home users and businesses were getting hit hard and still are. I can truly say we're in the trenches staving off unauthorized users and preventing terrorists from holding your data for ransom. Individuals need to be trained and bad habits need to be changed. Technology has come to a new level and we all have a better understanding. COVID has taught us many things. What it taught my clients is to be aware of their reliance on technology. Oh yeah, and listen to your IT guy when he says up the bandwidth and invest in a real home wireless solution. If you can get one thing out of my short speech and my last thought, it's not about bandwidth or wireless. And I say this with an exclamation point. Do not open any emails that you are unsure of. It could be the worst click of your life. You can lose all your data and be more, so be careful. Once again, I want to thank Steve Blank, the staff at Blank Slate Media, my co-honorees who are well deserving of this recognition. Stay safe, stay healthy. Do not open any emails that you are unsure of, and have a nice night.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adam. Our final honoree of the evening is Steve Silverberg. He is a nationally recognized leader in elder law, estate and tax planning, estate administration. He helps individuals, families, and business owners plan for the future and preserve assets by managing complex legal, tax, and financial issues. He became an elder law attorney before it became a recognized practice. Working as a tax attorney in New York City, he focused on complex pension and tax matters for large corporations. When a client asked if he could protect her family's assets as her husband needed long-term care, he researched the law and created a will with the Supplemental Needs Trust. The year was 1980. The National County of Elder Law Attorneys had not yet been founded. Stephen found that his experience in complex tax and pension law gave him a unique skill set that could be combined with estate planning to solve problems for his families. His law firm was moved seamlessly to working remote in March 2020 when New York State was paused. The firm's management, document storage, and communication systems were all internet and cloud-based even before the pandemic, allowing attorneys and staff to work in the office, at home, or anywhere. Investing in technology has always been a high value at the firm, and clients have benefited from its ability to keep working without interruption during the pandemic. Steve, thank you. Congratulations for your excellent effort this past year and before that.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's an honor to be among such a distinguished company, and I want to thank Blank Slate Media for this recognition and congratulate the other honorees. As a first-generation American and a lifelong resident of Nassau County, I have seen firsthand the contributions of many of the other honorees and have had the opportunity to work with them. Many of you may not know, but Nassau County was the birthplace of what is now called elder law some 30 years ago. The entire elder law community has worked tirelessly to preserve the rights of our seniors and our special needs clients, especially over the past year. I like to think that I am here together with the other honorees because we all decided a long time ago that we did not have to do things as they always had been done. We instead chose to do the right thing, the smart thing, and move away from traditional thinking. And that has made all the difference for us, our employees, our clients, and our community. Again, thank you, Steve.
Thank you for your work and your contributions. Our final comment will come from Congresswoman Kathleen Rice, giving well-deserved congratulations to this tremendous group of individuals who we have honored today. I think our event went a little longer than we thought, but I think it's a testament to the number of quality individuals in Nassau County, and it is a very positive sign for what will happen here in the county in the future. So let's hear from Congresswoman Rice and giving her congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to share a few words with you tonight. First, I would like to recognize Stephen Blank, Blank Slate Media, and the employees who make our local newspapers such a success here on Long Island. As you know, over the past several years, the press has come under some very heavy criticism, and much of it has been unfair and uncalled for. A free press is the bedrock of our democracy, and I am thankful for the work the media does to hold public officials, corporations, and politicians accountable. This past year has been like no other since I became a member of Congress. The COVID-19 pandemic has taken its toll on the country, and we've felt the full force of it here in New York. 1.5 million cases, nearly 45,000 people dead, thousands of businesses shuttered, and 1 million jobs lost. It's enough to make a reasonable person want to throw in the towel and give up. But across the state, and on Long Island especially, we have proven once again how resilient our community is. Michael Dowling, Northwell Health, and our other incredible hospitals have led the way. We lowered the curve during the first wave of the outbreak, and we were well prepared for the second wave over the holidays and now into the winter. And our schools, against many, many odds, have persevered. Our teachers have worked tirelessly to continue providing high quality education to their students. Hofstra University and our other institutes of higher education have developed new innovative solutions to learning. And a big thank you for that is owed to Hofstra President Stuart Rabinowitz, whose leadership will be greatly missed. Nonprofits have always played an important role here on Long Island, but organizations like the Family and Children's Association, led by Dr. Jeff Reynolds, have really stepped up during this public health crisis. We have needed every bit of their support as we've seen addiction and mental health issues become an even greater problem due to the virus. I want to leave you with this. When this pandemic hit, I knew we'd be relying on our local leaders to get us through it. Our leaders in the medical field, higher education, the nonprofit sector, and of course, our small businesses. I have hosted during this whole pandemic 16 small business conference calls actually it started about a year ago, almost now. We've dedicated countless staff hours to casework, helping businesses secure Paycheck Protection Program loans, and economic injury disaster loans and grants, federal tax credits, and more. I will continue to be there for you, just as you have been there for all of us. I want to congratulate all of the deserving honorees tonight. Every bit of this recognition was earned. Thank you so much for your hard work. Please continue to stay safe and healthy. And I want to thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Well, we thank the Congresswoman for, there's been a few things going on in Congress last few weeks. So the fact that we were able to get Congresswoman Rice and Congressman Swazi says much about the people that we've honored and how deserving they felt they are. That concludes our program. We're going to now turn all of you who are with us into panelists. We thank you for all your efforts this year and for all the contributions that you have made and for participating in our event. So thank you very much, and have a safe evening. One word I will say, I'm sorry that nobody could take advantage of the sushi bar we were planning on set up, but at least you didn't have to go out in the snow. So congratulations again, and thank you for your contributions.